guys, welcome back to the channel. If you've been following along, you know that I'm growing these Hanover tomatoes from the seeds I collected from a Hanover tomato I bought at my local grocery store, I guess 2 years ago now. Boy, time flies. Let me bring you over for a closer look because they were looking really good. I took them out. You probably saw the short video I posted maybe a few days ago where I brought them out on my back porch to let them harden off. And unfortunately we've gotten quite a bit of rain and I forgot to move them kind of under and give them a little bit of shelter under the deck on my back porch. And so they got kind of beaten down, waterlogged, the leaves started turning yellow, but they're starting to snap back a little bit. But as you can see, they're kind of bent over. Let me bring you in for a closer look. All right, as you can see, I finally got my workbench kind of cleared off here so that I can get in here and do some things. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit closer where you can see some of the damage that I'm talking about here. All right, I'm going to bring this one up close so you can see what I'm talking about here. All right, as you can see here, there's a little bit of leaf damage. As I said, the leaves were really yellow before, but now that they've had a little protection, had an opportunity to drain out a little bit, this soil is just soaking wet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one, maybe two of these Hanover tomato seedlings. I'm actually going to plant them in pots right here in my cattle panel greenhouse. I did this a couple years ago, maybe my second year in the greenhouse, and I had really good success. Obviously the greenhouse gives the tomato a little extra protection. It does require a little bit more maintenance because you're not getting the benefit of the rain water watering the plants when it rains, but it also gives you the flexibility to kind of monitor that water consumption so that they're not getting waterlogged. And I had less cracking of the tomatoes, you know how they sometimes will crack. I had less of that because I was able to stay on top of the watering and make sure that it was kind of an even watering pattern throughout the growing season. I was also able to monitor the weed pressure, also insects and other types of issues. I was able to monitor those a lot more closely inside the greenhouse. So that's what we're going to do today. It's kind of getting late. I've had to adjust the camera settings to make it a little bit brighter, but we're past 8 o'clock now, and today is May the 13th. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to pick one of these pots. It's already got some soil. We're going to loosen that up a little bit and see if we can't stick at least one tonight, maybe two, get them started, and then we'll probably do what I did a couple years ago. We'll train them to a wire that we'll attach up at the top where the cattle panel comes across. We'll tie that down to the pot and get the tomatoes to kind of wind around and train them to the wire. So let's get to it. All right, as you can see, in fact, this is one of the pots that we used a couple of years ago. You see I've got a stake here. This is where the string will be tied down here at the base. Then we'll run it up here, tie it up here somewhere on the cattle panel above. Just need to get some of the weeds out of this pot right here. There were some weeds that got into this soil here, but we'll get that out. Kind of loosen up and revitalize this. Alright, as you can see, it's really getting dark here. So what I'm going to do is just loosen this up. Try to dig down as far as I can. Okay, we'll take this out. Okay, it's not root bound by any means. Got some good roots there. I'm going to turn this, since it's leaning this way anyway, I'm going to lean it right in that direction here. We're going to work this very dry soil around here. And then I'm going to water this in, and then just I'm going to add some soil too. I'm going to bring this up. Like so. And then we'll get some string going, and we'll get this trained to go up it. Let me go get some water. Well, as you can see, we are definitely running out of light here in the greenhouse. I'll water this in really good because this soil was bone dry. I've not had anything growing in this pot for probably 2 years or more. Probably the last time I had a tomato in here. Alright, let's see what we've got here. Let's see if I can find some light too. Alright, now got a little bit of light out here. Let me go ahead and finish giving it some more water here. Alright, since this old potting soil has kind of seen better days, I'm going to scoop in some new soil to put on top of this old soil. Bring that up a little bit. And then I'm also going to be adding some worm castings too. Which is something that we didn't have available to us here at Hall Family Farms, but now that we have our vermi hut and our worms are starting to grow and work for us, we'll be able to get some nice worm castings in here too. This is going to look good. We'll just train it right here. We've got this stake. Get that wire to go right up to the top of the greenhouse. And this particular variety, this Hanover tomato, is a determinate tomato. So you have determinate and indeterminate types of tomatoes. Determinate tomatoes are tomatoes that grow to a determined height or size. An indeterminate tomato will grow and grow and grow and grow. In fact, in the nursery business where they actually grow these in hot houses or greenhouses, they will grow those things year round, and they lay the stems down after they've harvested the tomatoes. They'll lay that part of the stem down and can let it continue to grow and keep feeding it. So, but that's not what we have here. We have a determinate. So it's not going to get more than maybe 4.5 to 6 feet tall probably. So you'll probably want to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and follow along, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison. I'm going to have some of these growing outside in my garden, and so we'll be able to see which does better. Does this one do better here in the greenhouse, or does the tomato outside in the garden perform better than the one here in the greenhouse? So be on the lookout for that little experiment. Until next time, be safe out there. Take care. Bye-bye.